Friends, Brian here for Yes You Can Play Guitar, and can I talk to y'all? So, Rolling Stone put out this list of 100 greatest metal songs of all time. Now, I know I'm a little late to the barbecue, just getting over a little bug going on, but I wanted to do a video about this. I have not looked at the list yet, so we're going to do a video. I'm going to go through the list and give you guys my thoughts and see what you guys think about this, okay? So here we go. We're going to go Rolling Stone 100 Greatest Songs of Metal. Okay, so number 100 is Welcome to Hell by Venom. Okay, this might be a bit of a long video here, so I'm going to try and go through this. I think when it comes to metal, Venom definitely should be mentioned because, you know, they inspired a lot of the heavier bands. Slayer would probably say, hey, yeah, we were inspired by Venom. A lot of more of the thrash bands and the death metal bands came out were inspired by Venom. I remember seeing one of their videos back in the 80s, and, you know, I was quite young, but it was kind of like, oh my God. I think we all thought they were Satanists and stuff. So it's not so much saying that they were really great on their instruments, but they were kind of one of the first bands to do what they were doing. So I definitely think Venom definitely needs to be mentioned in the top 100. Good. Planets Collide, Crowbar. I remember Crowbar. I wasn't into them, and I could be wrong, but I've always been into the musicianship, into the really cool guitar solos, into that stuff. I don't think they were that kind of band. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't know a lot about them, but I do remember the name, and I remember they were out and they had a bit of a heyday for a while. Power Trip. When I think of Power Trip, I think of the song Power Trip by Chimera, but there's actually a band called Power Trip. I think they're more of a newer band. I could be wrong, but I actually did a really cool interview with Rob Arnold from Chimera. They're actually doing a reunion gig in Cleveland in May, which is really awesome. I don't know a lot about this band, Power Trip. Dillinger Escape Plan. I've never really been into them either. Don't know a lot about them. Girls' School, yes, I remember hearing about them. It might be worth them getting a mention. What was that one song that they did? I don't know, kind of a toss-up for me. Davidian from Machine Head. Now, Machine Head is a band that I've loved. I did a reaction video to them a little over a year ago. There's a lot of history in my feelings towards Machine Head. You guys may have seen my interview with Phil Demmel last week. He had been asked a lot of questions about Machine Head since his departure about 5 years ago. And I chose to not really talk about Machine Head. I wanted to ask Phil a lot of questions that he hasn't been asked about. Guitar related, not guitar related. But I have a lot of respect for Rob Flynn. The Burn My Eyes album. In 94, I can tell you, 94, 95, I had 3 or maybe 4 albums that I played over and over, and I can tell you what they were. Burn My Eyes by Machine Head, Demanufacture from Fear Factory, Divine Intervention from Slayer, and Low from Testament. I must have wore those albums out. I listened to them so much back in that time. It's nice to see Machine Head in the top 100. They probably could have even placed probably a little higher, but amazing band. Rob Flynn, I could never say enough about his talent. Amazing talent. In the Meantime, I always thought that was a song from Space Hog, but this is a song from Helmet. I remember Helmet, I don't know if they were doing some drop tuning stuff, but I remember just not being overly into them for whatever reason. Again, it might have been the guitar solo thing or whatever, but should they be in the top 100 for greatest songs? Nah. Okay, Hammer Smash Face, Cannibal Corpse. So a lot of people might remember Hammer Smash Face and Cannibal Corpse because they were in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. No matter what, you know, I remember as a teenager, you know, I really thought their covers were kind of silly and over the top, but it got them a lot of attention. But they are a great band. I still enjoy listening to Cannibal Corpse. To this day, I remember a couple years ago, giving lessons at a music school, filling in. A friend of mine owned the school. And I remember this girl came in and she was 12 years old and she was asking if she could learn Cannibal Corpse songs. I remember thinking that was so cool yet so very disturbing on many levels. I made it a point to not name song titles around her, but that was a little different. Anyway, Cannibal Corpse definitely in the top 100. All We Are Warlock. Pull Me Out, Dream Theater, absolutely. They should be in the top 100. And I think that this song, Pull Me Under, is a great one because it's progressive, but it's not as progressive as some of their other songs. It has a little bit more accessibility to people that aren't into quite the crazy progressive stuff. Very, very, very cool pick for sure. Yes, absolutely, Dream Theater. Bring the Noise, Public Enemy featuring Anthrax. I definitely agree with that too. It was a really cool metal rap crossover before anyone was really doing much of that. And I thought they did a really good job on the song. And of course, Anthrax should definitely be in the top 100 of anything metal. Very cool. Oh, You Can't Bring Me Down by Suicidal Tendencies. You know, I could never say enough about this band. They were really amazing. One of my favorite all-time guitar players is Rocky George from Suicidal Tendency. I'd like to actually interview him sometime. I think he was a criminally underrated guitar player. He was just so phenomenal. Mike Muir, of course, brought his own unique style to being a frontman. Absolutely, they should be in the top 100. And that is a great, great song. Absolutely. I could talk about some of these bands forever, and I'm trying not to because I don't want this to be a 100-minute video. Life of Agony. Okay, I don't know a lot about this band. I know that they're on the Gigant tour with Megadeth. Obviously, this is 1993. They've been around a while, paid a lot of dues. I don't know if I can really say anything either way. Just wasn't into them. At the Gates is another band. I do remember that they were Swedish. They were a good band. Never got into them too much. So, 21st Century Schizoid Man, King Crimson. I like King Crimson. I like Robert Fripp. Should they be in the 100 greatest metal songs, though? They were off the wall. They were progressive. I don't know about that one. There Goes the Neighborhood by Body Count. Yeah, I could see Body Count being in there. They were kind of a crossover band with Ice-T. And I remember when that video came out. Yeah, no arguments here that they're in the top 100. Thunder Kiss 65, White Zombie. I remember that. I remember that when that song came out. It took me a while to get into them. They were kind of a different kind of metal, but I have a lot of respect for Rob Zombie and what he's done. World Eater by Bolt Thrower, 1989. So my memories of Bolt Thrower, they're more like a hardcore death metal band, if I remember correctly. I remember at the time they came out, we all thought it was cool because they had a chick bass player. And when I mean that, I don't mean in a, it's a woman playing. It was cool to see, Yeah, they had some cool stuff. Should they be in the top 100? Don't know. But pretty cool band. Kitty, Canadian band. I think they're from Toronto. From Toronto or London? Southern Ontario, anyway. I saw a documentary on them a few years ago on Prime. It was pretty cool. They did their own thing, and good on them, man. Yeah, it was. I remember really enjoying I knew of Kitty, but I didn't really get into Kitty. But I really enjoyed the documentary on them. But pretty cool. Pretty cool. Twisted Sister. You know what? I would have to say I could see them in the top 100. I saw, again, a really interesting documentary about Twisted Sister. Like, they were very smart businessmen, and they were making really good money before they even became famous, just playing around the New York circuit. Again, I think that was might have been on Prime. I kind of forget. Maybe it was Netflix when I saw it, but it was a really good documentary. But yeah, I think they have their place in the top 100. I remember when those videos were coming out, I was in grade school, and it was again helping us get further into the heavy metal rabbit hole, so to speak. The Deftones, 80, My Own Summer. number 80. You know, I don't mind the Deftones. Again, I have a few of their songs on my playlist when I'm at the gym, but I listen to them, I enjoy them. I never got super into them though, but there's a couple of songs I really like. Again, you know, maybe it's that guitar solo lover part of me as a musician, but Balls to the Wall, except number 79. Absolutely, I agree with that. Great song. Some other people might have said Fast as a Shark. That was like a precursor to thrash with the double bass. Was another big song by Accept, but Balls to the Wall, definitely, you know, heavy song, great riffs. Definitely they should be in the top 100. Concubine, Converge. Never heard of them. Sorry. Jesus Christ Post, Soundgarden. Soundgarden were a very talented, interesting band. Were they a metal band, or were they a grunge band? Were they an alternative band? Don't know. Should that be in the top 100 metal, greatest metal songs? Jesus Christ Post was a heavy song. So, okay. Bathory, yes, I remember them too. Swedish black metal. Should they be in the top 100? Youth Gone Wild, Skid Row. You know, I didn't mind Skid Row. Of course, Sebastian Bach is a fellow Canadian. I didn't mind the guitar playing. Should they have a place in the top 100? Maybe. They had a lot of success. Initially, they have an ongoing thing about should Sebastian Bach come back or not. It's been one of those ongoing things, but yeah, maybe. Yeah, I got to give it to Skid Row for that. Obituary, definitely. They have their place in metal and their place in the Florida death metal scene. I could never argue about Obituary being in the top 100. Du Hast, Rammstein, of course. Can't argue that. Napalm Death. I think that's actually really cool that, you know, again, they're in one of the 100 greatest metal songs because, you know, I had a good friend, Georgie, when I was in high school. How you doing, Georgie boy? To quote Clockwork Orange, Georgie boy. He was always like a step ahead of us with his listening tastes. He always seemed to have the latest CDs and always was a big... kind of introduced me. He was my gateway into a lot of music. I remember he was really into Napalm Death when I first heard Napalm Death. So we're talking about 87. You know, I was really getting into thrash music. I was already into thrash music, but Napalm Death, I remember hearing Barney's vocals going, is this a joke? I don't know what's going on here. But it was no joke. But, you know, they were very talented in their own way. But again, it took a while for me to understand and get into the genre. Mastodon, very popular, a bit more of a newer band, very talented band. Yeah, I could definitely see them being in the top 100 for sure. Gojira, absolutely, another great band. Merciful Fate, absolutely, they have a place in the top 100. Evil, 1983, they influenced a lot of musicians and a lot of bands. Running with the Devil, Van Halen, absolutely, they should be in the top 100. Should that be the song, though? It's actually... you know, especially for guitar players getting into Van Halen, that's usually one of the first songs that they learn to play. It's not one of the more complex songs. It's a great song. Very memorable bass line, very simple. But, yeah. Blind by Korn, absolutely. You know, I think I mentioned about Korn in a Ren reaction video I did. Korn, I remember when they came out, it's one of those things I remember where I was when the video Blind came out. I remember watching going, what is this? Korn were an acquired taste. It took a while, but I did really get into them and really appreciated the band. But absolutely, they have their place in the top 100. Quiet Riot, Bang Your Head, Mental Health, absolutely. Over My Head, King's X. King's X was an interesting band. They were kind of an acquired taste. Should they be in the top 100? Maybe, yeah. Typo Negative. Again, a very interesting band, very talented band in their own way. Yeah, I can see them being in the top 100 for sure. Summertime Blues by Blue Cheer. Many would say that Blue Cheer is one of the grandfathers of metal, around Black Sabbath, around that time. They did a really cool version of that song. I do remember that song. Yeah, would they have their place in the top 100? Yep, absolutely, I think. Dragonaut by Sleep. I remember that band. They had a video. But they were like kind of a slower doom metal band. I remember they were kind of cool. I didn't get their trip, but yeah, should they be in the top 100? Arch Enemy, yeah, I could see that too. You know, they were a big band for the female vocals. They've influenced, I just recently did a reaction video to Ginger. Clearly you can see that Arch Enemy was an influence of Ginger. Very, very cool band. Angela Gossow. And they have a new singer, a beautiful woman from Montreal. I don't remember her name. But fantastic band. Yeah, I definitely think they should be in the top 100. Slipknot. Shout out to my good friend Aaron. Yeah, I could see Slipknot being in the top 100 for sure. They have their place, absolutely. Mayhem. Mayhem. I could do a long video just on black metal alone. Very interesting band, as they found their singer when he had committed suicide. Normally, you know, a lot of people would be like, hey, you know, call the ambulance, whatever. Not Mayhem. They took pictures and, you know, paid their own tribute to the singer. I definitely think they have their place in the top 100, for sure. Sepultura, absolutely. They're quoting, they're saying refuse, resist. Sepultura had some great songs. Yeah, some might argue maybe Roots, Bloody Roots, or Beneath the Remains, or they had a lot of cool stuff, for sure. Yeah, Sepultura should be in the top 100. My Dying Bride, don't know a lot about them. Sorry. Bark of the Moon, classic song by Ozzy. Absolutely, Ozzy has a place in the 100. Faith No More. I'm surprised that they chose the song Caffeine. I wonder why that is. I wonder why that is. A lot of people might have thought Epic, Surprise You're Dead. They had a lot of great songs. They were different. They definitely had their own place, for sure. Photograph, Def Leppard. Yes, they should be in the top 100, no question. Tool. Now, Tool has a lot of great songs. Also an acquired listening taste as well. They have their own style with the odd time signatures. Tool definitely has their place too. Opeth. Yes, another great band. Godflesh. Godflesh was a very interesting band. Very interesting that they're in the top 100. When they came out, they were kind of scary. You know, kind of like a, I don't know if you wanted to call it like kind of an industrial sound or whatever, but I remember when they came out, my good friend Georgie Boy, again, he was on top of the Godflesh thing, probably before Godflesh were. And I remember going, wow, this is really different. Top 100, yeah, maybe. Now we're breaking into the top 50. Celtic Frost. Okay, now I know Celtic Frost, they inspired a lot of bands. You know, I remember seeing their videos. You know, I didn't quite get Celtic Frost, though. I didn't quite get them. But nonetheless, they've influenced a lot of bands. I definitely think they have their place in the top 100. Same with the Ministry. I was never really into them, but I can appreciate their stuff. Queensryche, yes, absolutely. You know, I remember Silent Lucidity. That was the first guitar solo that I learned note for note back in 1990. And, you know, again, there's been a lot of drama in that band since, but I definitely think that they have their place in the top 100. Walk in the Shadows, should that be the song? Don't know. But I loved their Empire album. A lot of people talk about Operation Mindcrime, or, yeah, Operation Mindcrime. I really liked Empire. I thought that was a great album. Neurosis. I remember hearing of this band. Again, I didn't know a lot about them. Should they be in the top 100? I don't know. The Melvins, Night Goat. Now, this is my question about the Melvins, with all due respect. This is a metal thing, but are they more of an alternative grunge type band? Should they be, like we talked about with Soundgarden, should they be in the top, should they be in a 100 list of greatest metal songs? That's where it's a little confusing. Alternative or grunge, absolutely. Don't know. What do you guys think? Symphony of Destruction, Megadeth, absolutely. Megadeth has their place for sure. I've talked about Megadeth a few times in recent videos. I've interviewed David Ellefson, formerly of Megadeth. Yeah, Megadeth, great band. Caius, Green Machine. Caius was another band. I think they were downtuned. Back before downtuning became really cool. But I remember seeing a couple of their videos. I didn't really get into them, but they were talented enough. Should they be in the top 100? I don't know. Bring Me to Life, Evanescence. I wanted to do a video about Evanescence and that whole Little Rock, Arkansas scene. It seems like a lot of the members that they have in their touring band are from an amazing band called Living Sacrifice, who their very first album, I believe, was Living Sacrifice, Living Sacrifice. One of the most amazing thrash albums I've ever heard. I don't know if that band, ever got the recognition that they deserved, they're being a Christian metal band. Should Evanescence be in the top 100? What do you guys think? I don't know, but a shout out to Living Sacrifice for sure. Emperor. I remember when Emperor were really popular. Isan, I remember that. They had some really cool stuff. They were very talented musically. Again, I would consider them a black metal band from Norway. I think they're from Norway, not Sweden. But they were a very talented band, man, for sure. Meshuggah, Bleed. I've often joked around with people in my area. I relocated here a little over a year ago. When I've talked to some drummers, I'm busy. I teach guitar. I got my YouTube channel. I'm very busy. Still the urge to perform and play with people. It'll always be there. But I often joke with people and say, drummers, I say, if you can play this song, I send them the link to Bleed from Meshuggah. If you can play that, then we'll talk. The drumming's beyond scary in that. So, but yeah, Meshuggah are an amazing band. Judas Priest, absolutely. Victim of Changes, great song. For Whom the Bell Tolls from Metallica, yes. Metallica definitely deserve their place. I posted a video a few weeks ago about my thoughts on their latest song that came out. I tried to be as respectful and thankful to Metallica as I could. I was not a fan of it. Got a lot of views, but definitely, absolutely, that was a great song. Rage Against the Machine. I guess they have their place. I never got into that band. I'm just being completely honest. They just never got into it. Chop Suey, System of a Down. Yeah, they were a cool band too, man. They did some interesting stuff. Yeah, I guess they would have their place in the 100 for sure. Scorpions, absolutely. We have multiple entries here. Fade to Black from Metallica. That's another classic song. Smoke on the Water, Deep Purple, absolutely. Kiss Me Deadly, Lita Ford, number 33. I think Lita Ford's talented. I like the song If I Close My Eyes Forever. Top 100 for metal, maybe for I think she played in the Runaways before with Joan Jett. 33, I don't know. Mother by Danzig, I remember the Mother. Danzig, I definitely would say has his place. Black Sabbath, absolutely. So now we have, in the 30s, we have 3 songs taken up by Metallica. Metallica, again, amazing band. I'm more of a fan of their stuff in the 80s. I did come around to appreciate the Black Album. I've heard Enter Sandman so many times. I've had to play it in bands. It's just not one of the songs I would pick, but anyway. Walk by, of course, Pantera. Need to be in the top 100. Amazing song. Okay, we have another song by Megadeth, Holy Wars of Punishment. Again, it's a phenomenal song. No arguments. Another Judas Priest song. Diamond Head, cool. Okay, they have their place. Dio, absolutely. Rainbow in the Dark is a classic album. Great guitar solo by Vivian Campbell. Sorry, it took me a second. Slayer, absolutely. Amazing band. Motley Crue, they definitely have their place as well. Cotton, okay, so we have another Anthrax song here. Cotton Amash, okay. I didn't know there would be multiple songs by the same band. The Trooper, Iron Maiden definitely have their place. Rat definitely have their place. Okay, we have another Megadeth here. Peace Sells, okay, it's another great song. Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin, you know what? Yeah, I could see that too. Okay, AC/DC, okay. Iron Maiden again. We got another Slayer song again. Rainbow. Okay, cool. Yeah, I definitely think Rainbow had their place as well. Black Sabbath, Paranoid, of course. Cult of Personality, Living Colour. I think so. I remember when their album Vivid came out, I wore that album out. They were just different. Vernon Reid was a different guitar player. That was a cool song, great hook, great riff. It had a cool message in the song too, so yeah, absolutely. We've got another Metallica song here, another Iron Maiden, Holy Die, another Dio, another Slayer, another Black Sabbath, another Ozzy, another Black Sabbath, another Judas Priest, Motorhead. Okay, yeah, Motorhead definitely has their place for sure. Master of Puppets, and number one is Black Sabbath. Well, hey, who can argue with that? One of the, I find what I struggle with, there's a few of the entries, again, this comes down to these Rolling Stone lists. I've done another video on this. Some of the bands, were they really metal? I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of the Bay Area representation here. Maybe one Testament song. Maybe definitely Exodus have their place in the top 100 too. So a few of them were kind of questionable, but overall the list was okay. Like, I mean, who's going to argue with Black Sabbath? Black Sabbath as the number one song. Great song. I have a memory of listening to that. I grew up in a very strict family, so I wasn't allowed to go out and buy some of these albums when I was younger. And there's a radio station that played the heavier stuff on Saturday nights, so I'd put a pillow over it so no one could hear it, and I'd go to sleep listening to it. I remember my mom came on and it was playing Black Sabbath, and it scared the heck out of her. Very fond memory. But I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of the Bay Area stuff. Definitely Exodus should have had a song in the top 100. Testament as well. Just some of the ones, like the Melvins, like great band. Were they metal though? That's where it gets a little. And they had some other bands like Caius and whatever. I'm not saying they weren't great bands, Crowbar, but should they really have had 100 greatest songs when there's been other more consistent? Some of those bands have kind of come and gone. When there's been other bands that have been around a long time that maybe should have had some songs in there. So those are my thoughts on the top 100 greatest metal songs by Rolling Stone that recently came out. What do you guys think? Comment below, good or bad. It's all fine. Hey, come on. We can agree to disagree. It's music. We all love music. We can agree to disagree. Remember, practice hard, but practice smart. No excuses, and we'll see you soon.